from your
We're going live.
Live. Hello. Welcome. We are in mid-conversation apparently. And so we won't go there. Welcome to the Insiders with Liz and Amber. And we're so happy you could join us today, brought to you by Giant TV, of course. And we are so excited to connect with you today about what, Amber? What's the topic today?
Lower vibrations and how that's going to affect your soul's ascension.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Because,
Amber said to me about 5 minutes ago when we chimed in, what do you want to talk about today? And I immediately tuned into, there seems to be a lot of gaslighting going on, narcissistic behavior. And she's like, that totally fits in with my thoughts for the day, which was, go ahead.
Which was how you just have to focus on yourself. Like when you're worried about everybody else and what they're doing, what they've achieved or what they haven't achieved, you're essentially not aligning to your authentic self, and you're putting all your energy in somebody else. So even if you feel like you're, negative about them, you're actually giving them a ton of energy, and you're using your energy towards them. So, hammering down on yourself and focusing on what you're doing will help your soul align to its authentic purpose. And when it does that, and when you are in alignment with authenticity, you can create things, you can move mountains. So that's what's important. Holding on to bitterness or jealousy or anger or hatred, or she has, I don't, he has this, I don't have this. Yeah. All of those things are going to stunt your spiritual growth.
Yeah, so true.
Yeah,
we've all had to go through it. I mean, there's never been a time, what I can look back in my past, that I didn't suffer from any of those afflictions where, I wanted what others had, or I wanted to achieve what others had achieved. But what I discovered, like you've stated, is that over time you realize it slows you down, it bogs you down energetically, it lowers your vibration. And so you're so wrapped up and caught up in everybody else's stuff, you're completely losing sight of self.
Yes.
And that's never good. Never good.
No.
And until we, and like I always say, if the entire world would just pause and focus, every single individual on the planet would just stop worrying about what everybody else is doing and focus completely on themselves, what an epic world this would be. Obviously we would be able to support each other through supporting ourselves. That's the key. And I think we're going to see that going forward in the future. More and more and more people are going to start tuning back into self, because we've been following the leader for way too long. And the message has always been follow the leader, right? I think the one thing I remember from my corporate years was he who yells the loudest wins. And I hated that. I hated that concept. Whoever made the most noise usually got their way. And those that were silent and taking, just doing their thing often got overlooked or overshadowed by that loud, abrupt person. And I saw that happening, and I really didn't like that about the corporate world. I didn't like that. It bothered me. So I often, when I became into a position of power where I was able to hire others, I looked for those who were silent but doing their work. Mm-hmm. And that just made such an epic change in the dynamics of where I was working at the time.
Yeah, I mean, even as women, we are conditioned to think like we have to work harder, we have to be louder, we have to produce higher quality work. And if we don't, we're not worthy. And so that isn't so far from the truth. It is a social conditioning. It is, generational belief system. That's the way that it has been. And the more that I work with women and build up their confidence to kind of get beyond that limiting belief, like as you do, that it sheds. As soon as we believe that we have the worthiness to get to that space, it is a complete different story, because we are living within the belief system that we've been conditioned to understand. So once you no longer hold that value there, you can skyrocket, right? Then you've got all these people who are no longer willing to follow the leader and to be working and making someone else's dreams come true. They're literally just harnessing what they have, the gifts and talents they have, living authentically, and then bam, now we have value, and now we have somebody who's really committed to making an impact in the world.
So true. Well, it really does start with you though, right? Like it starts with you. I mean, we can get caught up in the woe is me, the bitter barn, hanging out in anger, resentment, frustration. It's all victim energy, right? It's all victim energy. And we've talked about victim energy before on the show. It doesn't serve anybody, especially not yourself. And it is also a lower vibration that we will find ourselves in. The world is in victim energy right now. The entire world. We've experienced a pause that was unprecedented in history, well, in our history, that has forced us to step back and go, what's important? What are my values? What is important? It's made us focus. But there's been a lot of people, whether they have a political agenda or they have, they're just nasty people, right? Who are playing on the fears of you. And so, when you're looking at life through the lens of the internet, it is super important that you listen to your instincts. If it's unbelievable, it likely is. There's so many conspiracy theories going on right now. It is shocking to me, like literally shocking to me, at those who are feeding into it, because I know how intelligent they are. I know, and it's not, it just really come down to your awareness and look at what is.
Yeah.
Pay attention to what is in front of you. Don't read into somebody else's theories or, you see this gaslighting happening at work, in the workplace, a simple work. One person says one thing to deflect from themselves, and the next thing it snowballs and it becomes this big monstrous thing. And that's kind of what's going on a grand scale in the world right now. And it is up to you as an individual to really get focused on reality, like get into your own reality.
Yeah, but we're playing this game. Like we have to go through this cycle, right? So our ego self is being shown or rising to deflect or to handle what it is that we're being presented with. So we think, okay, we just have to do A, B, and C, or my emotions are going to respond for me. But then we get to that stage. It could be 5 minutes where you have already been in charge of your life for so long. You're like, no, done. I am walking away. This is it. And it doesn't matter at all. Or you could take 10, 15, 20, 30 years to get to that point. Whatever it is, it's helping you get through that space. So we're not saying, or I'm not saying, it's impossible to go through your entire human experience without conflict or without, worry, fear, sadness. That's impossible. Like you have to be able to experience those things. It's like without the sun there, without the sun, there's darkness. Like, darkness because light, and cold because warmth, and love because hate. And so those are the real reasons that we're able to get to that space. So when you're in it, those are the questions that you have to kind of ask yourself is, one, is this serving me in any which way, shape, or form? Is it feeding into how they're becoming more powerful over your own experience? And C, am I willing to participate in this any longer? The deal is, right, Liz, is what is the fear of if I stand up? What is the fear if I cut out of this participation, right? Like, what is the biggest fear I have if I stand up for myself? And I guarantee you, if you ask yourself about one situation, you're going to realize that once you've made that choice and backed out of it and stopped participating, you're going to be like, why did I not do that years ago or minutes ago or whatever? Like, you're going to be like, why did I not do that?
So true.
Yeah.
so true.
Yeah,
And
you can't keep going in that circle for long.
yeah, and you know, and usually I found in my life, and tell me if this is the same for you, Amber. Whenever shit gets real and starts getting tougher and tougher and tougher in my life, it is usually the universe screaming at me because I have ignored all the signs that were subtle, little nudges. Liz, listen, Liz. Or I've been like, la 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 la, I'm not hearing you. I can't hear you. When it gets real and you can taste it, and it's, you know, like, you know, I can relate it to like a job where I was like, every fiber of my body did not want to walk through that door. Every fiber of my body, I was like nauseated, you name it. I was like, I do not want to do this anymore. And that was me kicking and screaming and resisting launching my own psychic business. I was already doing it, but I was kicking and screaming about letting go of my corporate position, letting go of my security, letting go. So that's an example. If the universe is making it so difficult for you, everything seems to be like falling down around you, that's when you need to sit up and take notice, because you have been ignoring the signs up until that point.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And this is something that all of us must do, right? Change is progress. When you're making progress, you don't have to be successful immediately. It's progress. So as long as you're doing something different towards this every day or every minute or every hour, you're getting towards changing the way your story is. You are then getting towards the success of what it is. It could be losing 5 pounds. It could be, you know, walking away from a friendship. It could be, you know, getting off social media for 30 days or cutting it out altogether. Whatever your goal is, you have to identify what the fear is of, you know, if I do this, what's the worst case scenario in my head that I feel will happen because of? Am I doing it because I'm, you know, trying to please others? Because a lot of times when we are keeping ourselves in that ego space, it's because how we want others to feel about us, not how we feel about ourselves. And that's a big difference, because it's not in alignment and you're not going to be fulfilled. So I'm going to use this as an example. So if you feel like, you know, Liz, your corporate job or my previous corporate jobs, that's what, you know, that's where the meat and potatoes are, right? Because that's what we grew up thinking. You get this Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, you get a position, maybe leadership, management, what have you. You get there and you're like, oh my God, I am doing more work than somebody else because I need to be in this space, because this is where my ego sits, because this is where I've been told the value is. Meanwhile, it's like, I'm doing this because people are going to think they're proud of me because I did what everybody thought their dream was. And then but you're not happy, you're sick, you're miserable, you're exhausted. You might actually be very, very unable to have multiple relationships at the same time. You might leave a marriage because you don't recognize that the unhappiness or the lack of authenticity is actually in your, let's say in this example, your job. So you're like, okay, one thing's got to go and it can't be this because this has the value. So when you start to make choices like that, and you're starting to shed things away in order to align to what other people feel for you and what they feel is the best thing, that's when you really need to kind of take stock, because your soul, when we talk, Liz, explain what a soul ascension is, just in case someone doesn't know what we're talking about our soul ascending.
Okay, so basically we're growing or learning new vibrations, where we're accepting and learning new insight for the soul, and every step of the way we're climbing that ascension ladder. Think of it like a ladder or a mountain you're climbing. So it's literally, you have to go through challenges in order to ascend. It's part of the plan. In order to learn a lesson, you must feel opposite of what you learn, right? So a great way to think of it would be, if you're constantly hit with the same repeated challenge time and time again, we'll use relationships as an example. You keep meeting the same kind of guy or the same kind of gal, and it keeps repeating the same patterns, like ends up you're miserable, You know, you don't want to date anymore if you keep repeating the same patterns. They're all jerks or they're all biatches, whatever. The reality is there's something you need to look at within you.
Yeah.
Why are you choosing the same story over and over and over again? It's likely because you need to ascend. You need to grow and move away from that old belief system, the old way of doing things.
Mm-hmm.
Typically with relationships, it's all about looking at the other person for your happiness, which we all know happiness is created from within. So if you're getting into a relationship because I'll finally be happy, that is not real. That's like you know, you're never going to find happiness within somebody else. You will find joy and fun and laughter and all of those wonderful things, but it's not their job, never was, to make you happy. This is the same as a job. Your soul needs and craves. So like it's so funny because I just read today on a friend of mine's page. He said, a job is what we get paid for. Our work is what we are sent here to do.
Yeah.
So,
Holla.
Right? Holla. So it's that, what is the work? What is your work? Ask yourself, what is my work? A lot of people can't stay in a position because they're not feeling it anymore. That's a great saying. A lot of people say, I'm just not feeling this job anymore. And it's because you're not doing your work that your soul was sent here to do. And in order to ascend, you must do the work that your soul was sent here to do.
Yeah. And, you know, when we talk about, you know, our higher self or our soul or spirit or whatever you want to call it, that is what we're doing in order to kind of get that soul to keep rising, to keep learning, to keep going, you know, leveling up and getting to that space where, you know, I think part of it too is people anticipate that, you know, you go to school, you graduate, you find your job, you get your mate, you maybe or maybe not want to have kids and get your home and all this stuff. And therefore I should now be happy and aligned. And this is what I should be doing. And then all of a sudden you have all these beautiful souls having breakdowns because they're not in alignment. So in that moment where you're sitting there and you realize something's wrong with me because I'm not happy after I did A, B, C, D. And that is so far from the truth. And I just want to explain to you, you are not a checklist. Like, you are a human, and everybody's human experience will be unique. And that is why it's important to listen to your soul or to do the work that aligns you to listen to the whispers of your soul so that you can hear, this is where I need to be. I don't know how I'm getting there. It doesn't matter how I'm getting there. I have faith I'm getting there. So I'm going to head in this direction, versus every day making a conscious choice to continue in the role that you know is not aligning to you. And so your soul is fighting with that. It will fight you with it until you have some big trauma, tragedy, or epiphany or whatever that gets you to that space where you're no longer doing it. Because that, your moment, it's one moment that you decide to make a choice, but it's been taking you that long to get there to do it. So every day, even if you're resisting, you're still getting a day closer to making that one moment of a choice. It doesn't have to be today. It doesn't have to be yesterday. It just has to be in the moment that you're choosing. And, you know, all this stuff that keeps popping up, right, Liz, is our shadow self.
Yeah.
Right. So when we're presented with things over and over, like Liz mentioned earlier, things keep popping up over and over. Or you know, with relationship example, this person is not doing the ABC for me, so I'm out. Then I go to the next person, they're still doing it, they're still doing it, they're still doing it. It's like, I'm never going to find the perfect person. Well, no, because you keep avoiding learning the lesson or going through your shadow work. The shadow work is really what's reflecting upon, you know, someone else back to you, so you can see where you need to heal and you know, do the unsexy work of healing, because it's not glamorous and it's not beautiful and sexy. It is hard and it's worth it. So yeah, like, you have to just choose to get to that space.
Well, you know, I think the dirty word in all of this is work, right? Nobody likes to work. Nobody likes that word work. And, you know, we have associated work with something we have to do. and it's against our will, and like we associate that word. But when you're working on yourself, the great deflection is, and you see it everywhere, and I've done it a million times over, is I will focus on other people and their stuff to avoid my own stuff. And that is because there's a lot of work to do. And let me also, add to what you've said there, Amber, and that is the work never ends. And that, when you have that awareness, you're like, oh my God, the work never ends. but it's the most worthwhile, most matic freaking work you could ever do in your life, working on yourself, because you have so much gain from it. Just the clarity of thought, just the confidence, all of those things. And it won't just be like that, you're done. It's a constant, right? So you're always working on yourself. But it becomes fun. I can actually promise you that it becomes fun. It becomes like an addiction, which is good. Instead of being addicted to other people, which the majority of people are, addicted to someone to support them, addicted to someone to be codependent, like all of these things. When you start becoming addicted to yourself, I think we've become so unself-absorbed that we've come away, and that word selfishness can't even apply. I mean, okay, so let me go back to where there's the narcissistic people. They are definitely all about self, but that's something you can see right off the bat energetically. You can feel it and you can see it if your eyes are open, but you have to do the work and not be in a place of needing another to satisfy your soul. That we have to be very careful. Spiritually connected people are very drawn to, pleasers, right? Pleasing people, pleasers. And that's what narcissistic folks are. They're pleasers. They'll play to your tune in the beginning, and then they sort of flip it on you and drag you down the hole with them. So you have to be super conscious and aware. And that's kind of where I was going at the very beginning with this, is getting in tune with what is it you desire? What is it your soul needs right now? And what can you do to fix that? Not what can they do? What can my job do? I'm just reminded, I remember saying, somebody had said to me, like, my job is so important to me, Liz, like I can't just walk away from this. It's so important to me. And I remember saying to them, when the final day comes and you're in the funeral home and you're no longer sitting in the pews, you're in the box. Nobody at that place and at your funeral is going to be talking about what a hard worker you were, what an amazing person you were at the payroll and all. No one cares about that. They're going to be talking about who you were as a soul, how you were loving, kind to them. They will have stories about you. But if you're wrapped up in the illusion of what your job is, because that becomes your identity, right? I had that as well, where I was a manager in the armored car industry. I took that on as ego, as look at me, I'm successful. I'm a successful woman. I'm holding my own. And it was really a lot of work to kind of recognize that I was putting all my weight on what, like you had stated earlier, Amber, people thinking that, I'm successful. I needed people to have that assumption of me in order to feel good about myself. Make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. And just personally, I went a different route. Like I always put success on family, like how many children I could have, or, how happy they were, how healthy they were, or whatever they, health within my ability to help that, but, I always felt like people looked at me and thought, oh, you're just a mom. And I thought, yeah, I am, I was happy about that.
Yeah.
But it wasn't until recently that, well, I'm going to say, sorry, not recently, after I had some of the children, that I started to realize that people really, the ones that I was getting comments by, they didn't put value or success on growing humans.
Yes, I know. Nobody does.
No, and I feel like even maybe some young females before they have their children may have also thought that, maybe had those fleeting thoughts or belief systems that, I have to be a CEO of,
Yep.
whatever in order to get that validation from friends and family versus, children or family for those who choose to want to have a family is not valuable. So that too was a big deal, because when you're growing humans and you're teaching them how to be, you're responsible for how, not fully responsible, but you're helping the responsibility of getting them shaped to be out there and maybe being the person who does something successful. And that in itself is a huge job. So today, just, I want to say, regardless of what you do for a living or what you do for work or what gets you a paycheck, really honor your own values. And when we talk about doing the work, it is really just asking yourself, what can I do every single day that is going to provide impact and make me feel happy? Like, I wake up excited to do it. I go to sleep thinking about it. I feel value in it versus, I wonder if I get this pay grade, if people will be happy for me. Like, try to shift it, shift your thinking, and then you will soon then be able to align, because your soul ascension is depending on that. You cannot ascend if you are always operating in a lower vibration. You certainly may be able to have, clairvoyant abilities, or you may be able to listen to your soul, but how well are you hearing the message? And are you doing it out of a place of ego, or are you doing it out of a place of your higher self? So if you're constantly focused on what it is doing for you and in alignment with your own authenticity, don't worry or give a crap about what anybody else is doing. Focus, stay in your own lane, watch where you're going, and that's it. And when I say stay in your own lane, obviously you can network and collaborate, but if you're not building someone up, you are not in a place where your vibration is going to ascend. You are supposed to serve. You are supposed to build people up and see their side. You're not going to vibrate with everybody. You're not going to vibrate at the same, like, as everybody, but as long as your intentions are in line with your authenticity.
Absolutely. And like, you may not be in a position where you feel that you can serve others, but I can guarantee you, just taking a phone call from a friend and serving your own wisdom to support that friend, that is helping others.
Absolutely.
The world is a community, and it's not inclusive. We are all in this together, and the more we can support each other, like, random strangers, if you're seeing a woman with a buggy trying to get into a door, like, hold the door. I can't even begin to tell you how many times I've seen that happen. Women getting on and off a bus with children, and everybody's just standing there all angry. Well, why is she taking so long? It's like, get off your butt and help her. It just shocks me. But anyway, I'm digressing.
Yeah, but it's true. It's what we're always about, what are others going to do for us versus what we can do for others. And I will tell you, as soon as you shift that mindset, it's mindset. If you shift it to what can I do to help others, you will be abundant in all areas of your life.
God, so true, Amber.
It's even not even a secret. Multiple people have told you this, like told us this, have shaped this for years and years and years. It is, as soon as you are in the mindset of how can I serve others, everything takes care of you and everything aligns for you.
Yeah, it's such a beautiful shift when you finally do, accept that role. Such a beautiful shift. And
you got to work at it. It's hard. Like, some of you might be sitting there going, oh yeah, no problem. This is easy. All right, we'll just, but we've all been there. We have all had those moments where we're just like, okay, this is a joke. The universe is hating me. We're not jiving. I have to just wake up and start over or whatever, right? So yeah, we're all there. We've all done it. And that's the beauty of it, is that, if anybody is saying that they've existed as a human and have had no trials or tribulations or no bad choices or decisions or no big things to work through, I would examine what message they're trying to send to you, because we all are here to do that, such a thing.
Yeah, no, it's quite it's quite the, awareness shift right now, because we are seeing this, um, we're seeing this on multiple levels, throughout throughout any kind of internet interaction that you have. There is a definite, um, somebody else should fix it. Why can't somebody else make this better? Somebody needs to do this. You are one person, you will make a difference. So if it is holding the door for an elderly person, or a woman, or just a random person, hold the door. Paying it forward, offering your services, offering, to cut the neighbor's grass. It doesn't matter what it is. There's so many things you can do if you're not in a position that you feel you can. It doesn't matter. You just can be a good human. Actually, if we all kind of went, what does it mean to be a good human? What does that mean to you? And then act like it. You know what I mean? So, we're all going to have our own perception, our own, reality on what a good human is. Who do you look up to? What movies have you watched and you've thought, I love that character, I want to be more like that, I want to be connected to that person? When I actually started to, really see that I had, connections like that through, just people that I met, people that were out of reach to me, or people that I read their books, whatever. And I thought, I want to be more like that person. I really resonate with that energy. How can I be like that? What course of action can I take to be more like that? Instead of the I wish, what can I do to make the change? That's all you got to do. That's it. Literally, it's that simple. Like having an easy button.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. Those are the things, and we're talking today, and we're talking about this because, for those of you who are tuning into us every week, you are already connected to self. So you're already there. You're already having that awareness that you have something more than just what's existing within this physical form. And that is your first step. So as soon as you understand that, or you're aware of that, now the next step is, okay, well, how do I communicate more to spirit? Or how do I listen to my own signs and symbols? Or how do I know I'm on, the right course? And that's why these types of conversations that you and I are having are really important, because yes, anybody can talk to you about what is clairvoyance and how do I do it? And, you practice, practice, practice. But there's so many underlying pieces to this that you've got to be doing all of the work in order to be successful in a piece of it. Yeah. It would be like if you wanted to be, a basketball star, and all you wanted to do is practice dribbling every day. Well, you're not eating healthy, you're not exercising, you're not playing well with others, you're not listening to the coach. Like, you cannot be Michael Jordan if you are unwilling to do every other piece of this to get to that success level. So think of it that way, because it is everything. It's everything that you choose. It's everything you do. But yeah, it's an awareness.
And your journey
already headed there.
And the other thing we should remind you, your journey will not be identical or follow the same course as what somebody else's that you've seen go. And that's good.
Yeah.
That's a good thing, because you're not supposed to follow the leader.
Yeah.
You're supposed to have your own insight and awareness that applies to you and your experience. So if things are going down a path that you didn't want to go down, or open your eyes more. Why is it going down this path? Ask, what am I learning here? What am I getting from this? Instead of going, why is this happening to me? Which is what the number one response to anything challenging is. Why is this happening to me? It's not, you can't do that. You have to say, okay, sit up. What am I learning from this? What can I learn from this? The minute you have that switch of the, why to the what, you're no longer sitting in victim energy, and you're now ascending. That is literally ascension right there.
You know what? I completely resonate with all of this. And as you're talking, I'm thinking about all of the choices that I'm making to align with my next transition, right? My next level up. Because every so often you're faced with, you know, why is this person in my life? Or how come this type of situation keeps happening? And for the most part, you think, okay, because sometimes it's just, say, finances could be messed up. Like your finances just blew up in your face and you don't know why the heck this happened. So you can examine one aspect of your life. But when you start to get, you know, friendships, relationships, colleagues, you know, family, health, all of, you know, multiple different aspects of your life happening at the same time, you have to then reflect and say, okay, I can hear you. Now, where do I go and what do I do? And what am I going to get to next? Because you don't just submit to the trials and tribulations of life. You don't just sit and be like, okay, hit me with your best shot and see what happens.
Yeah.
You literally have to just get to that space where you can think, why am I here? And do I want to be here? And do I value myself enough to say, I have boundaries, I have limits, I have, you know, inspiration, motivation, I have goals. So whatever it is, you know, identify what it is for you and then get to that space. So as I was saying, personally, I'm in that where I'm going through, who am I keeping in my life and who am I not? And I'm not saying like, you know, I'm just going to go chop, chop, chop and people are cut out. It's almost like you can start to understand, who are you vibrating with, that you're actually creating impact together and raising the vibration of the community, the family, the friend, whatever. And who is almost in that to be like, you know, that negative voice in the back of your head that's saying, no, 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 because you can sit back there and listen to it, or you can decide, no, I'm going to do what I'm going to do. And to be okay with doing that, because choosing yourself and choosing to move forward and align with the proper things is not selfish, and it's not bitchy, and it's not terrible, and you're not a shit person for it. I guess there goes my my New Year's resolution of not swearing. Liz, you're a bad influence.
It's all me, folks. It's all me.
But anyway, you are not wrong. You are not a bad person. You are not broken. You are here showing up every single day to fight the fight and to do the work and to get the job done and to align, because you have every fucking right to be here. Every single right to be here to do this work.
Reach it, sister. Absolutely. You know, we get so fearful of leaving others behind. And then they'll, you know, they will let us know, you're leaving me behind. And that's not right. You know, you need to stay with me. And that is so common. I mean, I can't even begin to tell you how many times that's happened in my life. And had I stayed where they wanted me to, I wouldn't be where I am today. And,
yeah.
And I'm feeling,
how do you get anywhere if you're in the same space?
Exactly. So, you know, if you're feeling that, you know, and here's a little caveat too. You don't gotta not like them. You don't gotta stop loving them. You don't gotta, you know, you don't gotta, love it.
I don't know what happened. I just picked it up, and then there is a 11. Sorry to interrupt, Liz, but I have to tell you something. So I'm posting later on the Gamber Prices pages, and I am actually launching an 11/11 program.
Oh, cool.
And I asked for 11/11 today.
I love that.
See, progress, moving forward, validation.
Thank you, validation. Thank you.
Woo! Okay, sorry. I'm so sorry. That's so rude. Go ahead.
No, God, no.
You don't have to not like them. You can just keep going and still like them.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for reminding me where we were. I'm like, no, I'm still on that. That's so cool. I want to know about this program you're doing.
I was so funny because I was listening to you. I was intrigued by what you were saying. So I was like, yeah, that is exactly right. You do not have to just disconnect and hate someone. Like you don't have to do that. And then I'm like, for some reason, I was just like, grab it. And there's 11/11.
Yeah. No, tell us, Amber. I'm sure everybody is curious. Tell us about this 11/11 course. I'm curious.
Yeah, okay. Well, I wasn't ready to do that, but whatever.
This is how we
so
work,
basically,
right? Like we have to, we come up with the idea and it has to happen.
Yeah.
So this is what I love about you. You and I are on the same page that way. So
I have to make things work, right? Like I have to have them, and we have to do it, and we have to keep moving forward, and that's the way it needs to go. But Yeah. So the 1111 method, or whatever I'm going to call it, I'm not sure yet. I had it written down. I've been working on it for probably about 3 to 4 months, and just really trying to define, because some of the ladies I'm working with, how do I get in alignment with my life's purpose? How do I know what the heck my life's purpose is? So in 11 questions, you would ask yourself over 11 seconds, or 11, yeah, it's basically a rapid fire, boom, 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 boom.
Love it.
And you can align to that. And then you get the validation of 1111, right? So then therefore it's the 1111 method. So I'll launch that a little bit later. I have to like write it out so people understand what it comes from. But yeah, that's what I was doing later today, was I was going to be launching that.
Yay!
The life purpose method.
Yay! Well, I'll be checking that out, and then we'll make sure to plug it on the next show.
Yeah.
So where to find it for anybody wanting to find it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That sounds amazing. I love it. I freaking love it, girlfriend.
Thank you. Yeah, because there's too many,
cool things
too
about
many
being
things.
friends with you. You have such incredible ideas, and I get so excited to hear them. Like what's coming out of her mouth next? What is she
my husband says the same thing, but it's never that excited. He's always like,
I know, my husband's the same. My husband's like, oh my God, really?
Now what?
Not just
now
be satisfied, right? I'm like, never be satisfied, and nobody ever should be satisfied.
Yeah.
That's the beauty, right? Of moving.
Yeah, that's the thing though. How, like, every single day, and I know you do this too, every single day I'm like listening to what's happening around me. I see people from all over the world who have the same issues with their life. How do I know what my life purpose is? How do I align? I am a boss babe and I don't know how to get my ass started to get from A to B. How do I do this? And I have been listening to that and hearing that, and every day I'm like, how can I help her? How can I help her? How can I help her? How can I help him? Whatever. And that's why my wheels are always turning, because it doesn't matter. My session might be done, but it's not over to me. I want to help this person, or help people with all that same situation, to be able to break it down, to make things easier, to make it so that it's like, oh, maybe I've already been doing that. I didn't know that was a right way of doing this, because it's not always people being clueless. Right. That's so far from the truth. Most cases, I'm sitting in front of someone and I am telling them exactly what they already know, but they didn't know that was the right method or the right process, or that it's even normal.
True.
So my brain's always going, how can I help her? How can I help something? And that's why I end up with all these ideas.
Love it. Same here.
I know you do it too. That's why we resonate. See,
I know,
we got a good tribe. We got a good tribe.
Go team.
Yeah.
No, it's so cool. I'm excited to see that. So let's, while we're talking about things that we're launching, you may have all seen me lift this guy up a couple of times.
Yeah.
This cutie. So
the insiders of Liz and Amber.
Excuse my lipstick marks.
And Giant TV. Woohoo! These are awesome mugs.
We now have merch. Guys. But we haven't done a giveaway in a while, so we're going to give one of these away. And we'll come up with the contest rules and regulations. I just made that up. I don't think I told Amber I was going to do that.
I was thinking the same. I'm like, you know what? I think we should give something away. And I think the next time we're on, that they can have a tea or coffee with us while we're having our tea and coffee, and we got our mugs.
Love that.
Yeah.
I love that. So but if you wanted to purchase one of these, they are very inexpensive. They're $9.99 plus shipping and handling. So, message us on the Insider page, private message us, and I will post the picture of it. I think I already did.
We can even customize that for you. So the Insiders, Liz and Amber, and Jessica.
Oh my gosh, that's right.
That'll be anything you want.
That'll be a little bit extra of a fee, but but we can so do that. I love that idea.
Yeah, that's so cool. And Alana and Jay Co is the one who's doing all of our custom designs, our shirts, our sweaters, our you know, all our merch that she's doing so far, she's been knocking it out of the park for us. So
she's amazing.
yeah,
she is amazing. Because she just knows exactly what you need.
yeah.
So if you're interested in having that extra, that's an additional $5 to get that name put on there. But you know, message us and let us know, because we would be totally happy to send one out.
Yeah, and let's give one away so someone can have a tea or coffee with us while we're filming next time. And also, I wanted to mention, you guys might also be aware that we are not in the giant studio again.
Yeah.
So it was so funny because I was thinking we were supposed to be in the studio today, but we are waiting a little bit longer because, as you know, we still have to be super safe with the physical distancing guidelines with COVID-19. And it just makes better sense. Although we could have all stayed apart from each other, because even if you remember our old set, it was like almost 10 to 12 feet between Liz and I. But we would just prefer to just wait a little bit longer, maybe stage 4 or whatever it is, phase 4. But we will be back in the studio, and the studio will be different than you remember.
It will be. We got a little sneak peeky at it, didn't we? Well, not in person. We got to see pictures of it, which was so cool. But yeah, it's just being smart right now, guys. That's all. We're just being smart. We don't need to add pressure to anybody else. There's people that work there full time, and you know, we want to stay in our little bubbles still.
Yes.
So it kind of makes perfect sense. Let's just play it smart.
And you know what, you guys, for those of you who are sitting patiently or impatiently waiting for your lives to get back to where you can go out without all of these guidelines, trust that we have to go through this process. It might take us a little while. You are kicking ass at it. You are doing well. Just hang in there, and you will be able to get back to a space where you're able to go out to your friends, to go to the mall, to go to dinner, do whatever you can do, and feel that sense of you know, a little bit more security than we might be feeling right now. But you know, we are going to do things different. We are going to be smarter about it, and you know, our leaders are making sure that they're taking as much information as possible to get us there. So I'll be ready when we're ready to get back to the studio and to give you a hug one day.
I can't wait to hug you, Amber.
I feel so cold.
I know.
If I even see somebody and we're like far apart, like I dropped something off to my mother, and it was like staying 20 feet apart. And I'm like, I know. You know, like you just want to hug. Or
I got to do that. I got to hug a couple of friends, and it was so beautiful. But they're kind of like that we've brought into our tent, right?
Yes.
So it's like we all know what we're doing. We all trust each other what we're doing, and so it's like it's okay. But let me tell you, that first hug, man. Let me tell you. So I can't wait. Yeah. We saw each other yesterday. We should tell everybody. We got some photos done yesterday. So we're hoping to get those.
We did.
It was so fun, wasn't it?
It was so fun. And Sarah, our photographer, she was amazing.
Amazing.
It was hot. I have to tell you, I was so flippin' hot. It was 9:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It was gross hot. It was.
I don't like sweating.
Dripping. Yeah.
No,
I'm not sweating, but I seem to do it when it's hot. So yeah, no, Sarah from Smile for Me Photography took care of us yesterday, and I'm really excited to.
She really captured our essence, I think. I feel, and just from the quick snapshots we were able to look at her viewfinder, but it's going to be so amazing to be able to have an actual really nice photo of the two of us so that we can use it for everything. And just for friends, to have friends.
I have friends, I know, right?
Yeah.
I know. So, well, do you have any idea of how we can do this contest? How we can get someone to win this? Do you have any thoughts on where we're going to do that?
I believe that we should have you, if you're interested in winning a mug with a couple other goodies for it, then we would like you to invite your friends to like our page so that they too can, anybody that you think might want to watch our shows or follow up with us or be involved in any of these contests and giveaways. If you know somebody who might want to do that, invite them to like our page or tag them in it or whatever you want to do. We'll put the post up and then you can start tagging people or invite them to like the page.
I think we should go one further. Not only should they do that, but they should share the show.
You can share the show.
They should share the show and say, you need to like this page and in order for me to win a contest or something like that. Maybe they don't have to do that, but they should share the show and encourage others.
Figure it out and tell you later. So yeah,
if you, as long as you are supporting us, how about we do that, Amber? Let's trust them to know what they need to do.
Yeah, you just do what you want to do and support us and get other people too if you feel like they would benefit from some of these conversations.
That's perfect.
And I am excited to say, and this is something Liz doesn't know I'm about to say.
Uh-oh.
But Liz and a bunch of other beautiful souls have been nominated in the Spiritual Excellence Halo Awards. You have days left to vote for beauties like Liz. You have only till midnight on July 31st, actually 11:59 p.m. on July 31st of 2020. So if you just go over to my website, amber-price.com, the Halo Awards tab, you can nominate from there. But yeah, Liz has been nominated and I am super excited for you. But if you know anyone else who you'd like to nominate, head over to the page. You only have a couple days left.
Well, I have to tell you, seeing everybody posting online that they were nominated, I'm just like in such great company. The amount of incredible souls that are connected to this, off the charts. I'm just so happy to be connected.
It's heading further this year. So we have people from the United States that are being nominated because it's North American. We have people that are from all parts of Canada that are being nominated. We have, people from all different levels where you're just starting out in the last 2 years to build up your spiritual holistic business, or you have people who have like 1.5 million followers on social media. So you have, there's a lot of new people that have been nominated that maybe didn't get nominated last year. And of course, that will be the thing. The more that it gets out there, the more people that might be nominated and have the ability to get this prestigious award.
That is so amazing. The reach is, you can feel it.
It's huge, the reach.
Like next year, it'll be global. I can feel it. Like
it's crazy. There's a lot of people who want their practitioners or professionals to be acknowledged. And I'm going to tell you something. That's great. It is not ego-based. It is you give something and the universe gives you something. It is the equal ebb and flow. So do not be nervous about being nominated. Do not feel like, oh my God, I can't. Da, da, da. Let it be. Just let it be. Open up your feminine energy and receive.
Yes, exactly. Well, a little thing I should add. I mean, I was so successful with the halos last year that I am looking forward to seeing somebody else capture that limelight.
Oh, you're so sweet.
It was so beautiful to be a part of that in that moment, but I am so excited to see somebody else get there because I actually haven't really even been advertising it on purpose because
I noticed that. I noticed you haven't been saying that.
I've been doing it on purpose only because I want to see others experience what I experienced last year. I had my glory. That was enough for me. And I'm so grateful and overwhelmed still to this day by that moment. I don't need it again. I need somebody else to feel that. That's giving back, right?
No, it's a beautiful thing because the halos are essentially a referral process, right? So if you've seen a client and that client feels like you delivered value and impact, which is what your goal is supposed to be, they want you to be recognized. So they're putting in a vote for you or they're nominating you. And that essentially ends up being about who you worked with and who you worked for and how they want to honor you. So it really is an amazing acknowledgement.
Oh my God, it's so beautiful, Amber.
And last year we were able to do it in person and the energy just freaking was through the roof vibrating. Like for 4 or 5 days, I was still on this vibrational crazy energy. But this year, I take this very seriously. We're going to be doing it online virtually. So the event will still be held on Saturday, October the 3rd, but we are going to be offering limited amount of tickets. The people who want to enter will be able to purchase the ticket coming up soon to get in, and they will see amazing speakers deliver, again, from all over North America. And they will be able to get into that, to have those talks. And then there's a live psychic messaging show with international psychic medium Jay Lane. So she's going to be giving readings to the people who have purchased their ticket to come into the event. So that will be live, but the speakers and everything else is going to be like, what do you call that? Like a presentation that's like pre-filmed, so that we're able to kind of make it go smoothly. So yeah, it's going to be amazing, and I am, lips sealed.
I know. Yeah, that's one thing you're good at. You don't share nothing.
Nothing. I am like a vault. I am not messing with any of it.
I know. I was totally dumbfounded last year when that all happened. No clue. You never gave any insight whatsoever.
None. You know why? It's so important to me. This project of mine, the Halos, is so important to me because it came divinely guided to me. This wasn't something that I thought, oh, let's do all of this. It was over and over being guided to do this. And so I know I'm working for what the universe wants me to do, to deliver to who I'm supposed to affect. Again, it's not going to resonate with everybody, and that's fine, but it will resonate with who it is meant to resonate with. And what it does is, this is my main thing. It collaborates and brings everybody together. So people that are vibrating on the same level will be drawn to participate as a speaker or a performer, and will be drawn to attend, or they will be honored with this acknowledgement. And so that's what is important to me, is the solidarity of this industry, to raise the vibration and to help, what we're doing here is helping humans.
Yeah, it is amazing.
But that was a side note. I just wanted to say, hey, keep voting, because you only got a few days left.
Exactly. And keep voting. And there's so many worthy, beautiful souls out there who have supported you in your life, on some holistic level, metaphysical level.
Yeah. Even the life coaching is for people. Like, I have a lot of social workers or psychologists or psychiatrists and stuff that have been nominated in the life coaching category, because this is not just about you are a psychic and able to connect. Yes. There are 10 different categories. And if you're making an impact to somebody's life experience, you can apply to one of those 10 categories.
It's so wonderful.
And you can self-nominate.
Amber, so exciting.
All right. So anyways, that was that. I just wanted to make sure that we knew that the time was running out on that. And we will post you guys are going to do what you want to do in order to get the giveaway for this month.
Yes, I will post that after the show. Once the show is up, so once we get the link up on the page, for the YouTube link, I'll post it with that, and that's the link we want them to share.
Okay, I will do that as soon as possible. Okay. All right, it's always lovely chatting with you, and I hope that everybody out there who tuned in today or who will watch this later has a beautiful week. Fill it with some goals you want, or even just one, and see how far you get with getting towards that goal. But once you set a goal, you know that now you've got a clear idea where you want to go, and you're more likely to get there.
I love it. I love it. Guys, be amazing. Amber, again, always a pleasure. I love you.
I love you too. Okay. See you, everybody.
We love you. Bye-bye, guys.